Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Sabih, for introducing me with these encouraging words. So once again, this is Dhirgham Alobaydi. I'm leading the research process, the research methods, materials in Engage Iraq Hub. And my work basically is divided into three areas. First, literature review about what has been done in India, south part of Asia, and Middle East, particularly the Iraqi neighbors and Iraq, and we are looking on studies on the humanitarian heritage and how community heritage is being looked after, supported, or ignored and overlooked. And this is useful to illustrate and to identify how cultural communities have been treated or covered in Iraq over time, particularly of the 40 or 50 years or so, and what was or is the role of the research in supporting or influencing the heritage of these communities. So we are trying to identify the gaps, the existing gap, and we are trying to fill in this gap in the first part. While the second part, we are looking for legislation review of how community and humanitarian heritage is covered, handled, treated, or supported by local and regional or national regulations and policies. Here we're going to highlight the existing, again, gap, challenge, opportunity, practices, and applications that we can focus and to develop it or to highlight, so we can encourage the role of governmental structures to be involved in protecting the heritage, not just of the tangible staff, which is very limited here in Iraq, but also to intangible staff and regulations. And we try to answer some questions such as what are the limits of preserving these communities? Are there some cultural communities that were disappeared or faded over the last 50 years? And also, are there protective rules, codes, and guidelines preserving the heritage of these communities or people? And in the last part, we are focusing on the review of case studies or of vanishing, deteriorating community heritage that struggles to survive over the last decade or so. And these cases are including 3 tangible and 2 tangible cases. We need here to generate 5 examples and case study profiles of where community heritage had broader impact on society and communities and excuse me, and was integrated in their livelihood. And as Mike mentioned, and Dr. Jamal and Dr. Sabih, here there's a good opportunity, and I would like to take it to invite all of you to share their ideas, concepts, knowledge, and to support our promising approach. And by the end, it should be by the end of our research work, we will have a conclusion of where we are standing right now and what can be done, what should be done in the next phase or in the next years, and what should be done to the heritage of these cultural communities. And I think this is briefly what I'm doing right now, when sharing, collaborating with Dr. Sabih, of course, Dr. Alan by leading of Dr. Jamal. And I think I will leave it there and let some things for, I would say something for Dr. Ala before turning the speech for her. Dr. Ala is the lecturer at the Department of Architecture and Engineering at the University of Babylon. She was awarded a scholarship from the HCED, that is the Higher Committee of Education and Development in Iraq program. She was awarded a PhD in Space Cultures and Politics Studies from School of Architecture at the University of Sheffield. She holds a master's degree and bachelor from Department of Architecture at the University of Baghdad in 2010 and 2007, respectively. And her research interests and publication are exploring history and theory of architecture and design in post-wars, memory and conflict identity, culture, trauma and hierarchy of power, and politics and policies. Well, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to say something about what I'm doing right now. Thank you, Dr. Sabih. Thank you, Dr. Jamal.
Thank you, Dr. Dhirgham, for this introduction. I would like first to thank you all for having me today. As you may know me from the email list that I was sending in a few couple of weeks, I am Merie, and I am going to speak today about my role as part of Engage Network Middle East, which was a great opportunity to be involved in this great community. From the title, with a quotation from the title, I would like to start and emphasize mobilizing cultural heritage for building partnership and institution for sustainable, inclusive peace. This was the starting point, I think, that triggered my research interest in this program, and it motivated me to be part of this community. Thus, I thought that reinterpreting the tangible and the intangible heritage goes beyond its physical merit. It's a key element to ensure the continuity and the cultural livability and historical value. Heritage here is not only about the past, it's rather about how we selectively use these paths to reform our contemporary culture. For that, the heritage plays a central role for the representation of identities in the way in which it perceives and interpreted and mobilize a representation of the past. For that, I'm starting to be part of this community and part of Engage Network. As a member of Iraqi team, I was responsible, and I am still responsible, to deliver a few tasks. First of all, my work was basically depended on organizing this panel, a little bit of directing and, under the supervision of Dr. Sabih and Dr. Mohammed. I was responsible to contact them, organizing the workshop arrangement, invitations, mobilizing and facilitating some of these sessions. Also, I am responsible to survey of specialists and NGO views of the need for humanitarian approach to protection and preservation of community heritage and the role of government in this respect. I'm going to take during this session, I was lucky to find a great material that I'm going to later maybe to analyze, reflect, and use it as a great material for my research, ongoing research, to use quotations and testimony for our project. So I am also going to undertake a few more interviews with different specialists from different fields, covering researchers, heritage professionals, NGOs, and community representations and policymakers. This also was involved and within the presenting this workshop, and reporting and reflecting later on this material, and analyzing the outcome that can be used and analyze and reflect on our website to be published and to be available for the public audience, because I think many of the lack of the research that goes around heritage studies may be lost or not be addressed right because of its unright way to document it or archive. So I think in this network we will be have the chance to document these material and make them available for the future research, for the future investigators to see, and make it available for the wide international audience. It has a lot of potential to be developed later on for future research. So this is in brief my role for today also workshop, and I may contact you in the future for future interviews and ask you about more details about your research. Thank you very much, Dr. So goes back to Dr. Mohammed and Dr. Sabih.